Good morning. It is March 11th. This is Dirk from AlgoTrade24.com. Algo trading made simple with our Wednesday market update. So, a lot of stuff happening again this week on the markets. Let's have a look at what the headlines for today are, what this means for the markets, and what to expect for today's trading. So, yeah, we've seen some quite wild trading actually again in euro dollar in the Asian session. So if you have a look at this, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Swings like this really from 113.18 down to 112.80, 100 pips, going like halfway up again after this. Very unusual in the Asian session. Still shows that there's a lot of panic in the market, a lot of people that read to position and reposition themselves. Now, in terms of trading here and where to place maybe trades today, I'll come back to that later. Let's have a look at the headlines, and there's some interesting stuff actually going on. So, 1 hour ago, the Bank of England decided to cut interest rates by half percent to 0.25%. This is really, for me at least, a bit surprising because this is really a steep step. So they are following in the shoes of what the Fed did in the beginning of March. They also cut the interest rates by half percent. Of course, they want to stimulate the economy by this. They hope to uh, support banks, to support especially the export sector here a bit by letting them lend cheap money. What we see here really is also that the FTSE, the British stock market, is reacting quite positively, 1% plus now. Same with the DAX, the Euro stock. So there's a bit of a comeback, really. Surprisingly, actually, the Asian markets earlier, but I have to say they were, I think, closed already when the interest rate cut came in, were down by quite a bit. Futures in the US still quite in the negative territory. So this is going to be interesting later on how that develops. Now, if we have a look at cable being the British pound against the US dollar, with euro dollar the most traded currency of the world, we actually saw, and I'll zoom in here a little bit, going from daily chart to 5-minute chart, after the interest rate cuts, really banged down here by over 100 pips just to come up again. So, meaning the trend of the US dollar weakening against the British pound today is continuing. After actually we saw slightly the dollar strengthening against the British pounds for the last couple of weeks. So let's have a look then also at dollar yen. Now we've moved back up here with dollar yen into the support area around 104.50 and 105.50. And if you guys remember, maybe you're a client that has been around longer with us already, this was actually an area where when we were coming down, I said, hey, this might be a good area if you want to buy some US dollar against your yen to start doing so. Well, we pierced all the way through and now are coming back. The yen really has become a bit of a safe haven currency, same like the euro. So they are at the moment taking over the role normally you would see from the US dollar or from gold, for example. Let's have a look what is going on in oil. Oil today peaked slightly above $36, but there doesn't really seem to be much strength at the moment to really close this gap all the way up here to around about $41. So this is going to be interesting. For me at the moment, but you guys know I'm not much of an oil trader. I really wouldn't touch this. I wouldn't know what to do there at the moment because volatility can be really here in both ways. You don't want to be caught in a short position here when it goes all the way up to 41 to close the gap. You don't maybe want to gamble the oil long trade in the hopes of closing the gap here and when it attacks the 30 or 28 again. The S&P 500. Now, where are my support lines here? Again, yeah, yesterday quite a strong day. Actually, now trending a little bit lower, but I'm going to stick with my plan here, and I'm going to continue saying that this area here, maybe even a little bit higher, so between 2,700 and even 2,900 here, in my opinion, are very good areas to start buying stocks again. You can get a lot of very fine stocks at a discount at the moment of 20, 30, 40, 50% almost. Look at something like Google, for example. They are earning incredible amounts of money. Companies won't stop advertising, and there's really no other option to advertise online if you want to be serious in Google or Facebook. So if you, this is really a stock I would buy now at a discount of 30%. This is really great. Um, Same goes for the DAX. DAX always tends to be a little bit weaker. This is an area to buy stocks. Now, don't take this as an investment advice. This is just my personal opinion that I have as a very experienced trader of 20 years. I might be wrong. So don't risk any money you cannot afford losing, obviously. One thing that leads me or supports me in my assumption that really we probably have seen the worst was a little news by Reuters coming in 2 hours ago. Air freight rates skyrocket amid passenger flight cuts, Chinese factory restarts. So normally, as a little bit of background for you guys here, what happens is that a lot of exporting goods, for example, that are exported from China to Europe to the US is transported with passenger planes. So if you bought a flight, let's say from Berlin to Beijing, there's probably in the belly of a plane going to be goods also that are transported from Berlin to Beijing or the other way around. And now what happened is because of so many flights being cancelled, just not going, the exporters and importers had to stick to professional flight planes, really with a quite high demand still, but lesser planes going, making really the prices skyrocket for transport, which is might be okay for the transporting company. If you are a supplier, for example, for the automotive industry, it's quite deadly and it's really a problem for you. But this is not the important thing in my opinion. It's the second part of a sentence. Chinese factory restarts. So we are seeing actually now in China factories, manufacturers coming back online, starting to produce goods again. Now, this is something you wouldn't do if you are still severely affected by the disease, by the corona crisis. So it looks like, to me at least, that things are really changing for the better there. And if things change for the better, economies are starting to export goods again. Economies are starting to do business again. I'm almost 100% sure that the stock markets will be following this trend sooner or later. So yeah, that really supports my opinion that this is a good times, at least for stocks, to start buying a little bit again. No, don't go all in. Yeah, you might as well say like, hey, if you want to invest, let's say 10k, do like 2k a day or whatever. To invest, don't throw all your money in all pot. Don't go all in. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Now, another thing really coming today from our side, from Algo Trade, is we are soon going to start a Telegram trading group for our clients. So apart from our algo trading software, clients will be able to also follow our daily trading activity with trades, not from the algo sector, but trades like I mentioned just now, where we take longer term positions, for example, buying the stock markets now For example, also here in euro dollar, trying to buy support, sell resistant lines. And if you are interested in that, this is really, it's like all of our services, this is completely free. So watch out. Link will be on the website later. Maybe I'll do a video about it as well. And yeah, we'll be happy to see you around then on Telegram. We'll be happy to hearing from you, from what you think is going on with the markets, and what your strategy is to deal with this whole thing. Until then, yeah, please stay safe, stay in touch with us, and